I'm sorry, but you should take a third-person subjective view on everything you just explained there. You're handing me a counter-theory of a patchwork of algorithms that do not apply to the general topic. You've made the same mistake that scientists have always made when trying to understand the universe. You compartmentalized one subject into sections in order to break down the subject's foundations. For one, that's a very dirty usage of the scientific method. Science is supposed to be used to learn and create, not to methodically destroy each other's ideas. Didn't your math teacher show you how to integrate manners into exponents? For two, you're applying the wrong methods to a subject based on what you've learned about an object. No one has any definitive data to base any certain facts or laws of physics towards cause. Like you said, nothing can escape the gravitational effect beyond the point of the event horizon, not even light. So no one has any sort data to say for certain that you're even correct. So thus, your theories do not apply beyond a certain point, neither would mine, unless my data is based on information that has managed to breach that event horizon boundary. For three, you say that Schwarzfluffer or whatever his name is, sorry, Schrödinger supporter, says that nothing can escape the event horizon, not even light. Well, can you explain where that huge burst of relativistic jet particles came from and consists? Let me help you, because they've known about it long before Hawking showed up with his radiation depletion theory. His claim to an already known element that can escape the black hole's event horizon, called ionized gamma waves and X-ray emissions, the only thing left from anything that falls below that event horizon that spits out the leftovers through those jets at extreme speeds and across vast distances that strip the gamma and X-ray emissions down as it goes until all that is left are fast-moving microwave bursts of static photon particles that we pick up as they pass by us as squelch spikes in the radio waves around us. They've used this process since Einstein was around. They just couldn't pinpoint this as proof since we had no way of tracking those radio wave squelches to their source, as they were too distant to find their point of origin and track their progression of decay. So I'll just go ahead and stop debunking you from there because, well, my math teacher did teach me some ethical values, among other scientists, that said we should not make other minds of science feel like retards because of their lack of information that shows the error in their theories. That would be more or less bullying someone who, by their knowledge available to them, saw the error themselves. I will leave you with this, though, some food for thought to show you the possibilities that led to what we've discovered. Thinking outside of this black hole box, what particles have been discovered to have absolutely no effect of interaction with gravitational forces? Neutrinos. They pass right through solid matter and their momentum is not changed by their passage through solid objects. So solid matter and the gravitational effect caused by mass has no effect over neutrino particles. You see where I'm going with this? So if we were able to create, say, a synthetic sterile neutrino particle and fire it through a split-wave photon beam emitter and measure the split-wave patterns to waves and the alterations that occur to the photon energy that was used to fire the once sterile neutrino particle as it passes through the event horizon and compare the interactions it encounters, as it would not longer be a sterile neutrino when it passes through the other side of the event horizon's region of effect, then you would essentially have a process that can map out the effects that occur within the event horizon's boundaries. I wonder, is your jaw on the floor right now? Here, let me help you pick it up. Also, you know I have a rebuttal against the Greek philosophical view of their Pleroma ideal of the beginning. In fact, this even sets a path towards the true origin of creation to have not come from anywhere near the first emergence of matter and the Big Bang. Those events were only steps, phases, in the universe's true origins. The only way there could have sensibly been anything created out of the metaphysical universe, bringing something from nothing, would be through the conscious, living will of something's thoughts. Subjective observer. Beings created from the primordial fabrics cannot be possible unless a living life form was present to set those boundaries into place. A being of love and purity cannot be possible to have existed there without the mind of a living consciousness of some design. Spiritual manifested beings of the fabrics of existence taking on a metaphysical form could not be possible without there having been something before their manifested presence came into being. Although what I sense in this pursuit of control over the Fibonacci frequency is just a bunch of politically driven super nerds all fighting for control. The irony is that God had made it pretty specific that only one angel would ever be created like me, the only one that ever was or ever will be, so all of your attempts to defy his command and supplant the one he chose for this task, denying me death until my name has thoroughly been shamed before the entire world, say, you can leech off of his angel of the first dawn. All of this accomplished nothing as you planned, but in the end your failed attempts that eventually consumed you, or is consuming you if you're still here, and hear these words, it eventually bridged the path that made it possible for me to achieve success. If you're still here, let me clue you into what's going on. You may have noticed that your spiritual essence and astral avatar lately are being drawn towards some unknown direction each time you try to project or travel. That is because your failed attempt to take what was not yours, by stepping up to imitate a role that you were not meant to walk its path, has entwined itself around your life essence and is slowly drawing you in to merge or slowly be atomized by the fabrics of reality. This merger has a purpose I have reappropriated for my own use. Since your wicked hearts and desires have led you to a fate of death without any hope of return for at least 1,000 years, as well as an untimely self-inflicted death, I used your mistakes to bridge the path towards creation's salvation from destruction. The proper expression here would be, sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelette. I can answer some questions here for you. Most likely the highest anticipated question will be, will it hurt? Yes, I should think. Extremely so, since everything you are is being sucked into a tiny subatomic space between particles. Think of an orange being pushed through a pinhole the size of a needle. You will experience this slowly and gradually until every atom of your entire being has been, well, assimilated into the one consciousness, my heavenly aspect at the beginning of time to the end of time, maybe after 1,000 years, which is the time that it will take for your essence to become untangled enough to have any possibility of returning in any form. You will have the luck of remembering this situation and learn from your mistakes, though, and don't try and struggle. The effect is similar to that of quicksand. The more you fight it, the faster it draws you in. Trust me, I know this more so than any other in existence save for 2 others. So now do you see what I was warning you of, you higher dimensional ascendance followers? This is your fate as well as you reality hackers. There is no safe way to use this method. Even when I tried, I had a stroke and total neural loss of consciousness, but the difference between us is that I survived. Ciao Bella. Now for the most controversial question that I most likely will never be able to finish, the definition of God. What is God and why was he created? Well, in the pursuit of giving all things an explanation, so that there is no longer any confusion or misinterpretation that has caused so much conflict. Before the beginning, in a time before heaven, in the last moments of my life, as I was about to die, I prepared for the inevitable, realizing my abilities and the potential to become what science has come to call the observer constant. I gathered together a plan to fulfill this last goal I set for myself. I knew that in order to achieve the goal of becoming the creator, I would need certain tools in order to achieve this. Realizing the principal purpose between angels and demons, temptation and virtue, and that the higher demons of the 7 deadly sins and angels of virtue were like an higher state of their possibilities, then this would be what I would need to become in order to attain the state of omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscient being needed to reach my goal. I understood the basics of time, and what it was in principle, and how to traverse it from one point to the next. Also realizing that there were three states of the Trinity, I decided that there must be two others, whose lives became synonymous with the aspects of the three principal fundamentals that perpetuated the cycle of life, death, and the purpose of life. So I chose my other two aspects, and went to their points of death, and took their life essence once they died, and changed them into the highest possible state of these qualities, Jesus being the great teacher and symbol of virtue throughout history, become one of them. Then I had to create a vessel through which this combined states of principalities could work through, a vessel to which our highest states of being could maintain that state without decreasing, keeping them in a perpetual state of balance, a being through which we could work and traverse across the spectrum of time and space that was not inhibited by the barriers of the physical realm. And so the one you all have come to call God was created for the purpose of creating existence through one who could be present from the Alpha to the Omega. Then I died, and the plan I had set into motion in my last minutes of life played out their course of events. I rose to become the son of the morning star, stood before God himself, was given my title that became the third aspect of the Trinity, and created existence, all set as I had designed it to. Then upon the death of Husha, we separated, and the resurrection occurred to all three of us. I returned here, Jesus rose in his new state of luminescence, and the third, unnamed aspect rise from his. That is the gist of it. All things have an inertia, a beginning, even existence, and God. That was, is, and always shall be his purpose, for he was made to exist beyond the physical realm from the beginning to the end. Nothing can truly affect him, and his purpose upholds the existence of the universe.
People who've been trying to keep me down, got their fingers in my collar, try to turn me all around. I find it so funny to hear how much they hate, try to push me to the ground and say they love me to my face. Say what you mean and don't try to deceive me. I so want to believe it, yes I want to, yes I do. Say what you want and don't try to prolong it. If you want so long, and I want you to, yes I do. I'm feeling all the heat, they're gonna hear me call. Now I can't wait to see you lose it all. You place your bets and he is gonna make you fall. I can't believe you're so delusional. Try to say I stole this verse from Tim, but there's a fire starter out there and I'm sure he stole from him first. Don't say you love me, then turn around and drop me, 'cause soon you're gonna want me, and you know it's true, yes you do. Why don't you see him the way he really is? 'Cause soon you'll wanna leave him, and I know it's true, yes I do. I'm feeling all the heat, they're gonna hear my call. Now I can't wait to see you lose it all. You place your bets and he is gonna make it fall. I can't believe it's so delusional. So delusional. You're so delusional. You're so You're so delusional. I'm feeling all the heat, they're gonna hear me call. Now I can't wait to see you lose it all. fall. Now I can't wait to see you lose it all. You placed your bets and he is gonna make you fall. I can't believe it's so delusional. So delusional. Oh, so delusional. So delusional. So delusional.
Good evening. If you're just joining us, we have breaking news to report right now out of the Kingstown area in Alexandria. We understand that Van Dorn Street is blocked right now by overturned cars, and reports are still coming in from police, but apparently I'm being told it is a zombie attack. Yes, zombie attack in Alexandria. Specifically, we're talking around the Van Dorn Street area. We're told that officers are on their way right now to take you to safety. So again, please take all precautions, stay inside, and keep it right here for the very latest on this zombie attack. We want to take you back to that breaking news right now in Kingstown, Alexandria. We understand emergency crews are at the scene now of a plane crash. A plane down in Alexandria in the Kingstown area. We understand that, yeah, it's in the south center area of Kingstown. Federal officials also on the way to the scene right now. We understand police are urging residents in that area to take all precautions necessary. We have a live reporter out there on the scene bringing us a live report like right now. Let's go to that live report.
Jesus.
What?
I don't believe this.
What? Is there something with the camera? Just fix it.
She's still moving.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I thought they were dead.
They're supposed to be. They are. I don't know. She's moving on the freaking gurney, man. Get out of the way. Come on, get out of the way. There's a backup here.
Who? Get off here!
And apparently we're having some difficulties there.